Hi, Amir, just testing. You can hear me?
Yes, Ram.
Okay. Okay. Uh, I think let's just give another couple of minutes before we start because people are probably just joining in from other session. Maybe we'll give 30 seconds. Okay, let's start. So, hello everyone, and welcome to this breakout session of AdvantEdge. I'm Rahul, and I head the product services at EdgeWorld. Today in this session, I'll be sharing our collective experiential learning through thousands of engagements that we have done, right? On why some organizations are able to scale their automation journey rapidly, while there are many others who struggle on this aspect. So what are those secret sauce? What are those key factors, right? Which simulate rapid growth for certain clients while it hinders scaling up for certain others. So can you move to next slide, please, Amin? But before we go there, right, let's clear some common myths. These are the myths which we usually hear when talking about scale of automation. The one higher up, obviously, and something which we always refer with, which is so synonymous to scale, is numbers. Right? We always call out scale in terms of number of processors, number of pods, number of FTs, etc. I agree that numbers do play a part, right, and an important part, but it is not the be all when it comes to automation maturity. And we'll soon see why I'm saying that, right? The next myth is around assuming that scale only means automating more of same, and this is very true when we are talking of RPA in particular and automation in isolation, right? That it is all about. In previous sessions, also we heard many practitioners talking about RPA being perceived as a band-aid, a temporary kind of automation, slow hanging fruits, etc. There's another myth which I probably want to debunk through some of the case studies that we'll talk in subsequent slides. The next one is probably more from employee adoption and their perception that higher an organization scale, right, higher the job losses and so on and so forth, right? Maybe we can come up with many more such myths given a particular context. You will see in subsequent sections that how scale can take different manifestations, right? And just to allude to some of these myths, that how these does not necessarily mean reality when it comes to scale, and how it can have different manifestations, and it goes beyond these myths. But there is still one unique commonality which you will see, that scaling is all about increasingly realize value from your automation journey. So as I said, scale takes different meaning in different contexts. So what we have done here is I've taken three real life client examples of scale. These are assisted clients who have each taken a different path to automation, and all three have tested significant scale in their own context. The first one you see is a more, and I know it's a little busy slide, but just stay with me, right? You don't really need to read through the slide. The first one you see is a more traditional approach, a centralized IT sponsored, a CIO sponsored automation program covering entire length and breadth of organization across geos. The next one is a more functional approach, right? Wherein a single function or a process area within an organization adopts a automation. And these are more business-led automations as compared to where sponsors are business functions, right? Which is very common as we see that somewhere it's IT who sponsors and somewhere it's business who sponsor. And we had Arvind joining in one of the panel discussions, and this is actually the case coming from Philips, right? So the function and scope, and he spoke at length, is F&A department, and we'll also talk in a detailed case study towards the end of this. The third one, a very interesting way of looking at automation and its scale, is where a, a, a process which covers length and breadth of an organization, right? It does not stop at one function area, but it is very pervasive across the organization. In this particular case, it's an end-to-end booking process for a shipping company, which is the core of their business, right? For a shipping company, the whole parcel booking or a container booking is the core revenue generation stream, and how they automated it across the 9 yards of their company, and not just RPA, but bringing Intel components of various other technology forms from intelligent automation to that one singular process. And today it's live across 140 global booking centers of this particular shipping major. What you see in bottom is lot of details, lot of text, but one thing which is common is that each of these clients were able to achieve significant scale and significant value through their automation, right? So scale is here in terms of the value that they automated, and not necessarily in terms of number of bots, number of processors, etc. So what is necessary is to look scale in terms of a strategic initiative, automation in terms of a strategic initiative, and see how it helps amplify people potential. Again, a very important aspect which came in even Nandan's keynote message to all of us. And all. Earlier in the day, we also had many industry leaders in the various panel discussions talking about their experiences, their challenges they faced, and some of the solutions that they adopted. There surely are many challenges in achieving scale, and unless these initial challenges are tackled well, infant mortality, and sorry to use a little negative word, but that's how I call it, infant mortality, where after first few initial experimentations, right, somehow the whole program dies down. And this can be really high in automation programs. To navigate these challenges, I'll not go into detail, as I said, enough has been spoken already. But to navigate these challenges, it's extremely important to have the right level of sponsorship, creating those initial structures and alignments which have inherent motivation to scale. Focus on value right from start as some of the key measures. Needless to say, choosing the right product and also the right implementation partner who understand what are the required imperatives to make your automation journey successful and scale rapidly are some of the key considerations. Can you move to next slide, please, Amin? So as you all know, we at Edge Services, right, and I represent the services arm of Edge Verve. We come with a significant IT services background, and as I said, over last many years, we honed our experiences across thousands of engagements, and we have perfected a very agile and a rapid and a predictable automation factory model, right? We even in other software parlance, we talk of factory models, but automation as a practice is relatively new, and that's where some of these practices are adopted new, and we have customized it to suit automation factory, which allows our customers to focus on automation value rather than automation complexity, and that is the key when it comes to scale. And various clients, based on where they are, what are their needs, they take some or all of these offerings, right? These are, I'll say, a bouquet of offerings that we offer, and clients pick and choose and decide to augment some of these from their own in-house teams or from third-party vendors, and all of that co-creation is possible. So I'll probably not go into each of these boxes, but if you look at, these are around 3 or 4 key aspects. First one is the right engagement design. And for any program you have to scale, you have to design it well. You have to set it up right in the first place. And what is needed here probably is the right amount of consulting, automation consulting to be precise at this juncture, right, which helps client make the right choices from variety of options, right, be it the right commercial model to right product setups to automation governance, security, deployment strategies, etc., etc. The second set of boxes that you see is all about implementation, right? Which is bringing the right domain and technology skills, which focus us on rapid requirements and rollouts. And this is where I think the whole agile has to come in. And today we are in a situation wherein a simple process we are able to roll out in a 1 or 2 week sprints, right? And this is where the belief in automation sets in, and this is where the organization starts seeing those early values and scale it rapidly. The third area is around post implementations, right? It is easy to build these robots, but how do you ensure that they run in every day, every hour of the day, and keep running and in every 365 days of a year? And this is one often ignored aspect, which we have seen in many of our automation programs, right? So post implementation also need to take a center stage in terms of monitoring these bots, monitoring these underlying processes, the applications which host those processes, because finally, if any of these link is down, right? If application is down, obviously your bot cannot function. Your process will come to a grinding halt. So checking all of these, checking fallout queues, continuously building on it, keeping an eye on infrastructure where it is hosted, all of this helps prevent value erosion. Because this, think of it, where human beings are moved to certain other roles and responsibilities, and a robo is not running. This is the ultimate doomsday in any automation program. So one way to do it right is to invest in a time zone independent and a strong shared service team, probably, if not a dedicated team. Because if these robots run, many of these processors run in night, especially when it's about legacy mainframe applications or some bad jobs which run in night, right? You will need time zone independent support system to do these monitoring, to to fix any failovers quickly, and so on and so forth. The fourth is around how do you widespread the automation, right? Do you always leave it in hands of let's say, external implementation partners, SI partners, etc.? Because at the end of the day, your teams understand your business well. So how do you enable them to participate in this automation journey? And again, Bernard in a previous session talked about citizen developers and things like that, right? So what kind of right ecosystem is out there to support this enterprise enablement and allow for the citizen development and a widespread adoption? This is where lots of comprehensive self-learning programs, instructor-led trainings, developer certification programs to make them competent enough to build uh, robust automations is extremely important. And lots of reusability, right? Finally, at the end of the day, the reusability comes in multiple aspects. There can be technical reusable components which you can build once and keep using it across the organization. There can be functional level reusabilities and so on and so forth. So having that right eye right from the start on reusability is another important, I'll say, aspect in scaling. And finally, the strong focus and rigor on expansion is must, right? This to make the whole program here to repeated cycles of success and scale. So it is not about taking the first 5 automation use cases, implementing it. You will have to keep coming and keep identifying those next 5 and keep automating those. So that is what I call a repeated cycle of success and scale. And we rely on this case on a unique customer proximity and intimacy based engagement model. We bring a very interesting overplay of Infosys engagement teams, our own automation program managers, and a strong customer success team, and obviously along with client, right? So all of these have to come together to create a engagement structure and a model which can build and deliver on scale. Can we move in and move to next slide? Organizations embarking on an accelerated automation journey, they need to invest in building a rich set of partnerships, tools, artifacts, frameworks, to name a few. This helps reduce friction and it also improves quality and crunch cycle time, right? Which are some of the very important factors when it comes to scale. So I spoke about choosing the right product, implementation partner. These automatically, once this is done, right, it lends itself beautifully to bring a lot of these, I'll say, accelerators through their past engagements. A product comes with its own ecosystem around reusable bots and marketplace capabilities, and the implementation partner comes with its own set of, I'll say, various tools and frameworks apart from other implementation accelerators, right, which are key to, as I said, reusability as well as rapid scale. Can we move to next slide, please? So this is where I spoke about that we'll take one particular case study. This is about Philips and Arvind covered quite a lot of their journey and how they could achieve scale by staying the path, right? They are in probably in their fourth year of automation journey now. And this is actually that second type of scale manifestation, which I covered in my second slide, right? So as you all know, Philips is a global healthcare technology leader, and they used assisted and automation across their global F&A function. You have heard him speak with passion lot of their experiences and success and how the scale came about. Key objectives were not just about cost takeouts. Yes, that is given if you automate, but there was also equal focus on improving accuracy, reducing human errors, improving the customer time, turnaround time, improving on, let's say, uh, how it helped them during these pandemic days and their month end, quarter end closures and things like that. Program, as you can see, has scaled significantly across any dimension that you look at. The, can you just move to next slide? Yeah. So this is where I'd probably not go into a lot of these benefits. Numbers are all over, but as you can see, it has whatever dimension you want to look at, right? Be it numbers. While I said numbers are myth, but let's, even if we take that and take a look at from a number perspective, any number, any dimension you want to see, program has scaled beautifully, and they are still automating at large, and from a single F&A function it is now becoming all pervasive across the organization. Can you move to next slide? A very unique program in the sense that it's a self-funded program, right? So it was done in various, I'll say, cycles of or iterations, the way you want to call it, right? Wherein they automated something, they realized value and funded it back into the program or plowed it back into the program for next set of automations. And that's where it by design it becomes a very scalable architecture, right, or a scalable model. And you have already heard, or in last slide I've shown over 16 million USD has been acknowledged. And we are talking of F&A function, right? So these are the people who are custodians of money. And if these people are coming and certifying that 16 million has been saved within their function, it is a significant achievement. I rate it as probably one of the largest automation programs undertaken globally. I haven't seen a case study, a publicly acknowledged case study of automation at this size and scale. We move to last slide, please. Oh, sorry, a slide before. Yeah. So obviously, programs of this size and nature do not come without its challenges. 3 years, they had their cups full of challenges, cups full of uncertainties. But as I said, with right choice of technology and partners, achieving this scale in automation and realizing this kind of value is very well within the reach of any organization. And with that, as my closing remark, in interest of time, I know we are all running late. I'll probably take a stop here and just check if there are any questions on chat. Okay, I don't see any questions on chat. Maybe I'll just give another 10 seconds if someone is posting something. Okay, so I think it's already, we are past midnight. So maybe if anyone has any questions, they can always write to the event mail ID and I'll be happy to respond. So with this, we have now come to the end of this session as well as to the main event. There is no need for you to go back to the main event, right? These are the breakout sessions. I hope you have enjoyed the sessions and will walk away learning some of the best practices which I shared. Some of our clients are adopting in automation and AI ideas. Looking forward to connecting with you all soon. Take care, stay safe, and have a wonderful day, night ahead of you. And sorry for event running a little late. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.